Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for our very first show on Business Secrets Revealed, a show that I will be hosting myself, Sonda Eunice, and I will be interviewing different business owners and executives in our community to get some great insights from them as far as what has helped them grow their business, as well as just different secrets that they have learned while growing their businesses and learning along the way. And here with me for our very first taping, I have Kevin Sheely. He is the president and CEO of the Ocala CEP. I'm very excited to have you here, so thank you so much.
I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be the first one.
I'm very excited about you being the first one. So to start off, if you could just please give us a very quick background into, of course, most of us know who you are and what you do, but for the people watching.
Sure. So for the last almost 7 years, I've had the privilege of leading the Ocala Chamber and Economic Partnership, which is the Chamber of Commerce for our area, as well as the Economic Development Organization. I've been in this profession, last week marked 25 years that I've been working in chambers and economic development in Kentucky and Tennessee, and of course, now Florida.
That's remarkable. So you like what you do.
I love what I do. Love what I get to do.
How did you get into it?
You know, so no one grows up thinking, man, I want to be an economic developer when I grow up, or I want to work at the chamber. I stumbled into it. I was very fortunate in that I stumbled into it early. After I graduated from college in Tennessee, I went to work for a political campaign, a statewide campaign, and was working. My candidate won the primary, but we all knew he was going to lose the general election. And that had been kind of my job path. And I thought, oh, I've got to figure out something else to do. What am I going to do? And I got a call from a former professor who said, hey, the chamber here in the town where I'd gone to college was looking for a communications director. Would you be interested? And I was like, if it pays money, yes, I'm interested. So I went, obviously, I got the job, and it didn't take too long until I discovered, man, this is what I always wanted to do. I just didn't know this is what it was called. And so from September of 1994 till today.
Okay. So in this very long journey now, what would you say has been some of the greatest achievements that you have felt truly fulfilled of achieving?
You know, I will tell you, and I tell people all this time, and I mean this very sincerely, I think the work that we do here is the most important work that happens in a community. And I say that with great respect for teachers and doctors and nurses and first responders, but if we're not growing the economy, if we're not creating opportunity, we don't have need for teachers because there won't be any families that live here, and there won't be any money for first responders, and we won't need nurses. I mean, you know, all of those things happen because we have a growing economy. So I love the impact that we get to have, and I've been very fortunate. You know, early in my career, my second community where I was a CEO, I went to a place that had lost its two largest employers in a span of about 18 months, and they had 28.5% official unemployment. I knew that it could only go up, and we were able to put together a great program, a team, in a period of 4 years to replace all the jobs that had been lost because everyone came together, including working with Amazon in their very first facility east of the Mississippi, which was cool because people still didn't know who Amazon was back then, and I got to say I knew them when. You know, so being a part, knowing that what we do impacts communities, whether that's been in Marion, Kentucky, or Campbellsville, or Northwest Kentucky, or here in Ocala, that our work impacts thousands of families is really rewarding, and getting to be a piece of that.
Absolutely. Well, it sounds like a great experience, and I know that in working with all of these different businesses, you have seen what helps a business grow or what could potentially make or break a business.
Right.
Do you have any pearls of wisdom that you would want to share with business owners now who are looking to scale, grow their businesses?
Absolutely. You know, I appreciate you asking, and it's kind of cool because of my job. I do get to see inside what other people are doing. And one of the things I've learned through the years is that those businesses which are most successful, it's because someone was willing to take a risk. They found that return, they found that great success because they took a risk that other people weren't willing to take. And I found those amazing entrepreneurs who've built incredible organizations were risk takers. So I encourage people, take the risk. It sounds easy, and I get it. I understand how difficult that can be, but take the risk because that's where the return is. And so that's what we try to do here too. Is you know, when the CEP was formed with the merger in late 2012, it was all about, we're going to do things differently. We're going to take some risk because we think that's where chambers need to go in the 21st century. And I think, so far that's paid off pretty well.
Absolutely. So you guys were finalists in this year's chamber.
Yeah, so for the second time in 3 years, we were finalists for National Chamber of the Year, which is very rewarding to have our peers say, hey, these are among the very best in the industry. Last year, we were the Florida Chamber of the Year. So it's been very exciting to have that type of peer recognition that what we're doing is different and successful and something to be modeled.
I'm an ambassador for your chamber.
Yes, thank you very much. We appreciate that.
I absolutely love it, and it has been a life-changing experience. I have met the greatest, coolest group of people that are just as driven and motivated as everyone else here, and we are all able to help each other and the other businesses in our community grow just by coming together. So it's, just even being a part of it on such a small scale, I can see how much change you guys truly create, which is why.
Well, and the key is what we create. Because while we've got a great staff here, the reason we're able to see all the incredible things happening in our community and the key role the CEP gets to play is because of our partners. It's because people like you are willing to come and, hey, I want to be ambassador, I want to be engaged. Businesses are saying, I want to invest, I want to see this change, and I want us to see us partner together and partner with local government, partner with our schools and the colleges to help our community be more successful. So this is really about all of us. It's about it's a we success, and that's
coming together.
Man, that's really exciting when you look again at all the great things happening here.
Good. Well, thank you. I do have a few questions that were asked by people from the community who wanted me to ask you these questions because they heard that I was going to have a chance to speak with you. So one of them was about I'm so sorry, give me just 1 second. I had a whole list here. Okay. Here's my favorite one.
All right.
What advice would you give to 10-year-old Kevin?
Oh, wow. It's interesting. What I would tell 10-year-old Kevin was, I've always felt like part of my job was to make a difference. And I didn't know what that was going to look like, and to say you will be able to make a difference. What you're going to do is going to have impact. It's going to be different than what you thought it was going to be, but you're going to be able to have impact.
Just hang in there. Right?
Hang in there. And you will eventually stop growing. So
that was actually another question.
6'6".
Somebody wanted to know if you had to have your knees surgically implanted so that you could look down on everyone.
It is amazing. It's kind of funny. I am 6'6". I'm always in the back of every picture. It's funny. In this room, lots of times I sit in a chair opposite of where I'm sitting right now, and people will come in and sit in these chairs which are adjustable, and they're set lower to fit under the table, but people think it's some negotiating move or something. I'm like, no, I'm still going to be taller. It doesn't really matter.
I'm not trying to intimidate you.
I'm trying to tell you, it's still going to be tall.
Okay, mystery solved. What about your passion for adopting children? Can we talk about that?
Yes. I am a huge advocate for, in particular, not just adoption, which I'm an advocate for, but being able to adopt children from foster care to provide permanence. I'm on the board here of Kids Central, which oversees that in our region. They do amazing work. I'm so pleased to be a part. Since they've gotten involved and we've moved adoption to the private sector, the number of children being adopted has almost tripled.
Wow.
And that's, or more than tripled, quite frankly. And that's really exciting, because to give kids a permanent home, this is where I can be safe. And part of our passion is our oldest son is adopted from foster care. And so we got to see, unfortunately, where it's done poorly in other states. So to come to Florida, in particular to this area, and see it done really, really well, we're very excited to help people know about what they do for families that want to grow. There's a lot of misconceptions. I know all the time people are like, oh, it's so expensive. I'm like, no. When you adopt from foster care, it's subsidized. You can even receive a stipend. You get to make a difference. Our son was 4 when he came to live with us, so we got to avoid all those awful diaper changing and feedings during the middle of the night, and there's some really good things that you can do with that.
Good. Wonderful. That actually segues into another question that I had from someone else who said very specifically, as of September 2019, of all of the boards that you're on, which one is your favorite and why?
Well, so I currently only serve on 2 boards, and which would be Kid Central, as I already mentioned, and United Way, which is where I'm sure that question came from. I will say, and I've already talked about Kid Central, I am so pleased with where our United Way is going. I like to think in many ways they adopted a model similar to the CEP to say, look, what we've done in the past has worked, but that model's changed. And so we need to change with it. And man, really doing some things that are making a difference in our community. I love how they work with others and they've become that one-stop shop for so many people. So I am a big fan of United Way, not just because I'm on the board, but because of their mission.
Good. Scott's going to be
Yeah,
soon.
Squat. Squat is what I call him. So
I'm not going to call him that yet.
no, I think you should.
And last but not least, because I was told that this would put a twinkle in your eye, tell me more about your grandson.
Yes, so his picture's kind of there in the background. My oldest son, who is, that we talked earlier, is adopted. This is his son. So this is Remy. He will be 2 years old in October, so next month, here shortly. So he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I wasn't necessarily, my son is 26, so plenty old enough to be a dad. I just didn't know that was going to happen.
Right.
And but it's been fun.
Oh,
It's been fun.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Excellent. Well, thank you.
And thank you so much for coming. And he is an adorable boy.
Yes.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain. Thank you so much for joining us for our very first show of Business Secrets Revealed. Stay tuned for more.